Hey, what is going, guys? SemiXT here. I know it's been a while, but to be honest, there has not been much to report on, especially on the Rugby 24 front. But today we're doing something different. We're going over Rugby World Cup 2023 predictions, my thoughts, I don't know, just my thoughts in general, to be honest. But first of all, I'm just going to drop a couple of plugs. So, as we know, this is my YouTube channel. I've got a few videos. Last one I did was a Rugby Challenge 4, World Cup Game 1. As you can see, my most recent videos that are all Rugby 24 related have done pretty well. Shows there's interest in the game, but unfortunately I don't have anything to report about at the moment, even though the game is meant to release in like about a week's time. But anyway, what I am just going to go out to is if you hop on over to the community slide, you can see I've posted a thing here. Talking about how I've created a Discord server for the SemiX2 community. If you hop into the community section of my channel and go on down to this post, click the link and you'll be able to join. We're talking all things Rugby 24. I've already got about 10 people in there so far. We're going to, anything Rugby 24 related, any Rugby World Cup discussions, just anything in general, to be honest. So feel free to jump on in. But first of all, and the main point of this video is Rugby World Cup predictions. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this before, but this is the Telegraph UK. They've made a Rugby World Cup prediction. You choose who you think will top the groups, who will win in the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and the final. And I've got a few other things open here. I've got the Rugby World Cup men's rankings, and I've also got the pool groups on the Rugby World Cup official website. Also, if you guys are interested, World Rugby have released an official fantasy. So drop a comment down below if you're interested in joining a SemiX2 fantasy league. Don't really have any prizes, but it might be any good fun, so let me know your thoughts. So straight into it. The 4 groups and pools. We have Group A, New Zealand, France, Italy, Uruguay, and Namibia. Group B, South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, Tonga, Romania. Group C, Wales, Australia, Fiji, Georgia, and Portugal. And then in Group D, we have England, Japan, Argentina, Samoa, and Chile. Now, we're going to start off with Group A. And probably 2 of the favourites are in the same group. So Italy, I know they're a good team, especially when compared to some of these other teams like Uruguay, Namibia, Tonga. They're in a pretty tough pool, and I don't see them getting out of it. But that's not to say that they don't have some good players. So I think in the first game, opening Rugby World Cup game, we have New Zealand versus France. I think France are going to edge them, honestly. Home World Cup in Paris, 80,000 fans in the French stadium. I reckon probably about 85% of them will be French rugby supporters. I think it will be a pretty close game. New Zealand are a class team, and even though they just lost to South Africa, I think they will bounce back. They always deliver when it comes to Rugby World Cups, and I think it will be close, but I just have a feeling that France will top them in that opening game, especially in front of their home crowd and a home Rugby World Cup. Now, saying that, New Zealand will bounce back, and I think they'll comfortably beat everyone else in the group stage. But that one win that France will get over New Zealand, or they might not, but that's what I just think will happen, is going to edge them to the top of the pool. And then we're going to put Italy in. I think Italy have the opportunity to push France and New Zealand. They can be. I reckon the first half of those 2 games would be very competitive. But saying that, New Zealand and France will edge them in the second half, or you know what, it might even turn into a blowout. But I still think Italy have a fair shot, and then they'll comfortably win over Uruguay and Namibia. I think Uruguay will come 4th. In 2019 they had that historic win over Fiji, which was just class to watch. And Namibia, honestly, I could be wrong. I could be underestimating them. I just haven't been keeping up with Tier 2 rugby that much recently. I just think Uruguay has a bit of an edge on them, but feel free to correct me down below. And then when you look at that, you got France, who are 3rd, New Zealand, who are 4th. Then you have Italy down here at 13, Uruguay at 17, and then Namibia 21. So it kind of lines up with, my prediction lines up with the rankings. Then moving over to Pool B, we have South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, Tonga, Romania. This one is pretty tough. You have South Africa, who are always class, and Ireland, who are number 1 at the moment, and they have been for a while. Ireland had a fantastic Six Nations, and they got the Grand Slam, I believe. As you can probably tell, I'm from Australia, so I do keep up with the Six Nations, but not always on the most ideal times. So I'm pretty sure they got the Grand Slam. And I just think, but the thing is, like, Ireland tend to choke at Rugby World Cups. I think they will comfortably make their way out of the pool stage, but saying that, I honestly don't know. They just had a game against Samoa, and the final score was like a try in it. You know, it really just goes hand in hand with what everyone is saying about the World Cup at the moment. This will be the most unpredictable World Cup we've ever had. Honestly, the top 10, and even pushing that, are all competitive. You've got countries like Wales, Australia, and England who have fallen into a bit of a rut currently, but I think when it comes to the Rugby World Cup starting, it's just a different place, you know. Teams will crank it up a notch, teams will turn up. I just don't know. Like, honestly, I'm going to put South Africa... I don't know. So you got Ireland and South Africa who are first and second in Pool B, and then you got France and New Zealand who are third and fourth in Pool A. And there's not much in it as well. It's just, I don't know. And then you got Scotland, who's fifth. So the top 5 countries in the rankings are in Pool A and Pool B. And then who else you got? You got Tonga and Romania. Tonga 15th, Romania is 19th. So that's a bit of a drop off. I think South Africa will come first in the pool. And the game between these two will be incredibly close, but I think Ireland will just have the edge over Scotland. But honestly, I could see any 3 of these teams going through to the pool. That's hard luck by Scotland as well. Like, they're a great team as well. Honestly, and all incredible players, these teams. And then I think Tonga will edge Romania in their game, so that will finish it off for 4 and 5. Now, moving over to Group C, Wales, Australia, and Fiji. What a pairing. What a group that is. I feel, what's the last 3 Rugby World Cups? These 3 nations have been together. And then in 2019, we also had Georgia. The only difference is, in 2019, we didn't have Portugal. We had... Was it Uruguay? I think Uruguay were in there. I think Australia will top the pool. I might be a bit biased, you know, Australian fan. We have gone backwards under Eddie Jones, in my honest opinion. Sacking Dave Rennie was a big mistake. He should have had this Rugby World Cup, in my opinion. But not much you can do about that now. Wales are in a bit of a rut as well. Fiji, that current win Fiji just had against England is insane. Fiji should not be underestimated. I'm going to go with a bold prediction here. I don't know if it even would be considered bold, but I think Fiji will beat Wales. And they will edge out for that second spot, and then Wales will come third. It's incredibly tough. Like what I was saying earlier, like the most competitive and unpredictable Rugby World Cup we've ever seen. And I think that really just pushes you to show that the Rugby World Cup needs to expand. Like, we got countries here like USA and Canada, and Russia was disqualified. But then you also have Spain. Spain got disqualified because of ineligible players. I think those are 4 countries that could easily fit into the Rugby World Cup and be competitive with these nations down here. So the Rugby World Cup needs to expand. This is unpredictable, and this is shaping up to be a very fun tournament. Honestly, I'm a bit worried about that Australia-Georgia game. I think Eddie Jones might think we're comfortable and name an understrength squad, and I could definitely see Georgia pushing us in that game. So I really go with this with no confidence, but I think Georgia will come 4th, and then that leaves Portugal 5th. But honestly, again, Georgia could beat Wales, Georgia could beat Fiji, Georgia will probably push Australia. I really don't know. And then moving to this pool, I think Argentina will come first. Argentina have continuously been a class team. They are 6th. And they beat Australia. I went to that game in Sydney in the Rugby Championships, and they beat Australia. It was disappointing. But I don't know. I think Japan have fallen off a bit since the 2019 Rugby World Cup. I was fortunate enough to actually go over there for a week with my dad. We saw Australia versus Wales, and we saw Fiji versus Georgia. It was a great experience over in Japan. But I saw a stat the other day saying that they've only won 4 games since... 4 or 5 games since the Rugby World Cup ended. So they've kind of plateaued a bit. I think they'll kick it up a notch, but I still think England will I think England will come up on top of Japan and Samoa. speaking of Samoa, they pushed Ireland, the world number ones. And I think they're comfortable and very capable of causing an upset. I think the Samoa versus Japan game will be very good. I'm going to put Samoa above Japan, and then I'm going to put Japan above Chile. So this is my group predictions. I have France and New Zealand topping Group A, South Africa and Ireland topping Group B, Australia and Fiji topping Group C, and then Argentina and England topping Group D. Moving on to the quarterfinals, Australia versus England, South Africa versus New Zealand, Argentina versus Fiji, and France versus Ireland. Now, Ireland, right? They have never made it past the quarterfinals. I think this year might be different, but if this is the matchup that comes down to them making it past the quarterfinals, I think France will edge them in a home Rugby World Cup. So sorry, Ireland, the quarterfinal curse continues. France are through, and you guys are stuck, still not making it past the quarterfinals. That would be an insane match, though. If that does happen, definitely a must-watch. Moving on to Argentina versus Fiji. Argentina are going through. Fiji are incredible, and love watching them play. I just think Argentina are a bit more solid, so that will happen there. I'm going to come back to this one because I don't even know where to go from there. I'm not sure what these stars mean. I have played around with this a few times, but couldn't figure it out. Moving on to Australia versus England, the exact same matchup in the quarterfinals we had in 2019. I remember coming home from Japan, watching that, and watched us get absolutely demolished, so that was a bit disheartening. But both teams are in a bit of a rut, and it does kind of show that the draws, the groups being drawn this far out really have created a lopsided draw, like France, New Zealand, Italy, Scotland, Ireland, South Africa all being on that side of the draw leads to South Africa versus New Zealand in the quarterfinals. That is a bit unfair in my opinion, but the World Rugby have announced they are going to change the draws for the Rugby World Cup and make it a bit closer to the tournament, so hopefully we don't see some of the favourites meeting up, like this game here, these games here, this one here, sorry, my bad. Hopefully we don't see two favourites lining up in the quarterfinals again. But back to match 41, Australia versus England. I don't know. One part of me, as an Australian fan, wants me to win this, but I just honestly don't feel confident in our team at the moment. But I'm sure England fans will also say they don't feel confident. Eddie Jones against his old team. Eddie Jones against his old team. I feel like it's just bound to happen. Australia winning, Eddie Jones with that grin on his face, rubbing it in. I don't know. Moving to this game, I think it'll be incredibly tough. And a part of me thinks New Zealand will win, but by how convincing South Africa were with their win recently, and South Africa also comfortably beat Australia in the Rugby Championship, whereas Australia were pretty close to New Zealand in one of the games, I think South Africa will win. Then the semi-finals, South Africa versus Australia and Argentina versus France. I don't think it needs any explanation. I think South Africa are much better than Australia. And I think that this game, if it does happen, will have an incredible atmosphere. Argentinian fans always bring it to games, especially here in Australia. Australians have a pretty docile match atmosphere, and the small, outnumbered Argentinian fans bring more to the game atmosphere than the Aussie fans do. So even if there is a small amount of Argentinian fans, they will be very vocal. The French team, though, home Rugby World Cup once again, it'll be pretty full on. But I just think being a home Rugby World Cup, the fans behind them, the country behind them, I think France will get up. Now bringing it to the final, South Africa versus France. Now, Springboks are great, France is great. I just think, man, the home Rugby World Cup, France will edge them. And you know what? I'm probably saying this. I think it's time the Rugby World Cup world had a new winner. As much as I would want Australia to win it as an Australian fan, I think a new nation holding the Rugby World Cup would be great for the game. And I just think they will edge them. I think France are going to win. Let's have a look here. 26% of players also predicted France to win, 23% New Zealand, and 19% South Africa. Now, that is controversial. I'm sure I'll have some... hold on, my bad. I'm sure I will have some South African and New Zealand fans are knocked out in the corners. That's quarterfinals. That's a bit rough. Irish fans, I'm sure I'll have some people in the comments disagreeing, but just remember, guys, this is my opinion. Personal, not bias. What's the word? It's all a bit of fun. I can see this completely going the other way. I could see Scotland making it out of the pools. I could see Wales not making it out of the pools. I could see England not making it out of the pools. I could see Australia not making it out of the pool. No, there's so many different paths to the final. But just all a bit of fun. Just once again, guys, let me know down below if you do this, what your prediction is. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think the semi-finals, the quarterfinals are going to be? What are your bold predictions? Who do you think will not make it out of the group? Do you think Scotland will make it out and South Africa don't? Do you think Wales will make it out and Australia don't? Let me down all these things in the comments. And like I said at the start of the video, I've created this Discord for all things Rugby 24 related. So hop on over to my channel, hit community, and then scroll down to the link and join up in. And I'd just like to say we've hit 91 subscribers. We're only 9 away from 100, which is pretty amazing. And just the support on the channel recently has been pretty insane. I posted my first Rugby 24 video over 4 months ago. That's hit 4,000 views. 600 on this video, 7,500, which is my most viewed video on this Rugby 24 video, 6,500 on this one. Like, that's insane, guys. Like, the channel's hit over 23,000 views, which is just incredible to me. So thank you very much for the support. I'm trying to keep you guys updated on Rugby 24 news, but there just isn't at the moment. The game's meant to release on 7th of September, and they haven't released anything. So I think we might be in for a delay, which is looking like the most probable outcome. So just keep an eye on the channel, turn on notifications for when I do post about Rugby 24. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Here's my predictions again. France are going to win it according to Sammy X2. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.